Hello, Campbell.
Hello. Great soundboard.
That's no soundboard. That's my audience. But okay, Campbell, I think this year is the longest distance call of my life, to be honest, because you told me you're back in New Zealand, right?
Yeah, I think you would struggle to get further away, if I'm being honest. We're not so close to Europe down here.
Yeah, that's true. So what are you doing down there? I wanted to say up there, but it's down there for me.
Yeah, I'm just down here training. I convinced the US team to let me come back home and do one training block on snow because skiing is good, but also because I wanted to see my family.
Yeah, for sure. But I think where we are in Europe still in the summertime, in New Zealand, there's the deepest winter, right?
Yeah, I've actually done it good this year. So I came for spring and we've just got like a bunch of snow. So I'm having the best skiing that they've had all season. And it's not dark and cold every day. It's sunny and nice and great. So, but yeah, definitely winter.
Yeah, okay. And before that, you were in Italy and trained there?
Innsbruck, actually. I was training in Seefeld this summer as my base.
Okay. Yeah, I heard you moved to Innsbruck, right?
Yeah, just because I'm currently at a stage in my life where I'm trying to find a bit more stability because I've bounced around a lot over the last few years, especially moving to like racing for America. I went from doing 6 months in New Zealand, 6 months in Europe to like 6 months in Europe, 4 months in US, 2 months in New Zealand. And that's just a lot of traveling. So I kind of pumped the brakes a little bit and was like, let's just try to live in Europe and just have a bit more of a home base and a bit more of less hotel rooms and get a place for the summer, see how it is, see how I like it. And yeah, I loved it. It was awesome.
Then how was it with your German skills? Because I think in Innsbruck, I mean, most people, I guess, speak English, but not all of them. So how is it?
Yeah, it's actually totally fine. My German is probably like 10 words, maybe 15 words. Yeah, I haven't put much of an effort there. Probably should.
Okay, so yeah, maybe something for the future. And I think I will come back to the New Zealand part later because that's where it all started for you, right? So let's jump back to your first years on Earth. Tell me, how did you get into sports at all?
Sports at all? Dang. So I come from a family of 4 boys. I'm number 3. And we used to live in the North Island of New Zealand where there's no snow. But having 3 brothers and active parents, they took us biking and hiking and camping and I don't know, all the usual things for a Kiwi kid to go do, like the school triathlon, school cross country, this type of stuff. And my oldest brother actually started really enjoying mountain biking. So he started racing in mountain biking. And, you know, if he wanted to go to a bike race in the weekend, us other 3 boys all also kind of had to go. So I got dragged along to a lot of mountain bike races when I was young. And didn't really enjoy it very much. I just, it wasn't that good and just kind of got smashed. And I was always doing like a super long race and I was always pretty young and was like, maybe not for me. But I always enjoyed running. I always enjoyed training for biking. And then when I was 8 years old, we moved down to Wanaka, where they have a lot more snow. And was lucky enough to meet this lovely lady called Mary Lee, who actually started Snow Farm, the only cross-country skiing field in New Zealand. And she brought me and my brothers up there. Just asked my mum, like, do you mind if I take your kids cross-country skiing? And mum's like, yeah, take them. No worries. And just loved it straight away. I really liked the community side of it. Snow farms are great. If anyone's had the privilege of going there, it's a very warm, welcoming place. Everyone there is there to have a chat, and you sit and you have a hot chocolate and a pie, and you spend a few hours up there, maybe go out, ski a little bit, come back. It's like a very nice community thing, and I really liked that side of cross-country skiing when I was younger. It was a lot more approachable than just getting thrown into like a, I don't know, 40K mountain bike race when you're 12 years old. You're just like, yeah, this sucks. So, really enjoyed that. And yeah, then Mary Lee took me over to my first ever cross-country skiing race in Australia, when I was probably like 12, because she saw that I liked it, and she was like, well, if he wants to race, I will take him to a race in Australia. So she took me over, and I did my first ever ski race and just loved it. Absolutely loved it. Then came back and it was like, yeah, I liking it more. And then, of course, as I got fitter, I started to enjoy running more and biking more and triathlon more and all these other sports a lot more because I was getting better at them. And yeah, that's how I got into sports.
And did you know directly that you would be a biathlete one day, that would be your profession, or cross-country skier at the first place?
I hated biathlon when I was young. As I said, I was a lot more there just for the vibes, like chatting with the people, having a hot chocolate, and going and shooting on a biathlon range and getting cold hands and missing a bunch of targets wasn't really my idea of a fun time. So didn't really enjoy biathlon when I was younger. But yeah, really fell in love with skiing straight away and was like, of course, when you're 14, you don't think, yeah, I'm going to do this as my job. I don't think any 14-year-old does. Maybe in Europe. But it was one of those ones where it was just like a slow progression, where it was went overseas and raced in Canada and stayed with a nice family when I was 14. So did a few races, cross-country skiing races there, and really enjoyed the club. This was my first time ever skiing with kids my own age in like a club, because in New Zealand I was the only kid doing it. So that was awesome when I saw someone my own age cross-country skiing, and then you go to training and there's like 3-4 guys all your age. It was like the best thing ever. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then I was like, yeah, I would really like to be a skier. And then I got the opportunity to go to Europe and train with the Australian biathlon team, because one Kiwi guy before me, Louis Jones, had done that and he had really enjoyed it. And he was like, yeah, Europe's awesome, Europe's awesome, Europe's awesome. And also my oldest brother at this stage was racing mountain bike World Cups in Europe. And my older brother was like, you're wasting your time racing in Canada. If you want to know if you're good or not, you need to race in Europe. Which he has a very good point. Europe is a lot more competitive and a lot more sports. So then I was like, oh yeah, I'll try to go over there. So went over there, told them I was a cross-country skier. And this just ended up translating to, you'll train with us Monday to Friday. And then when we go to a biathlon race in the weekend, you're just going to stay in Livigno and train. And so then I was like 15 years old in this hostel in Livigno, and I was kind of like, I'd rather be at a race right now than here by myself. So then at the end of that season, I was like, I want to do biathlon, because that was the only way for me to race in Europe. There was no team or opportunity for me to be a skier. And then IBU also holds biathlon camps. So they would pay for my flight to Europe if I did this biathlon camp. And then as a 16-year-old, because I'm 16 at this point, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds great. So got my flight paid by IBU, did their development camp, and then started racing that season in biathlon. And it's funny, when you actually give biathlon a real go, you can actually learn how to shoot pretty quick, I reckon. So
you think so? Yeah.
And that season I managed to get third at Alpen Cup behind two German guys, Elias Assel and Florian someone else, I forget. But and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. I gave myself a good pat on the back for that. Third, I was like third in Europe. And not in Europe, but, you know, at an Alpen Cup, which for me was the biggest thing I'd ever done in my life up to that stage.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I was like, yeah, I'll just give this a real go. Got a training plan, started shooting a lot more consistently. And progression since then has been a bit nuts, honestly. It's kind of just gone mental. But yeah, that's how I'm a biathlete. Thank you, IBU.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've also read that you have been to Europe very early, when you were 16 or 17. And you also came to Livigno there. And my first question was, how can you finance all of that? You said the flights were paid, but what's with the rest? Like, rent and stuff and food and so on?
So when I went to Canada, that was an exchange. So one guy came and lived with me in New Zealand, and I went and lived with him. So I had to pay for my flight, but other than that, I was pretty well looked after. And then going to Europe, it wasn't like I was living in a hotel or anything. So the Australian Biathlon Federation figured out that there's all these bad countries doing biathlon, and they all have one or two athletes. So they were like, let's just pull everyone together and all train in Livigno, and we'll rent like a floor of a hostel. So, and you just ate like, I don't know, pasta every single day, lunch and dinner, and then oats for breakfast. And I don't know, you had 3 bunk beds in a room, 6 boys in a room. And it was people from, write this down, there's a lot, like Argentina, Chile, Ireland, Spain, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand. So there was a lot of countries in there. And that helps keep costs down, especially if you're living in a hostel. Like we had, I don't know, ski patrol people living above us and like a big communal kitchen. And it was awesome time looking back. It was such a fun time living in there, especially as a 16-year-old being in Europe. And then, of course, the IBU pays for flights. And also the IBU gives you money if you race races like junior IBU cups. Not me, but they will give it to New Zealand Biathlon to help me cover costs. So I really am the IBU Development Fund product. Like I really came from that.
And you're the only one who made it?
No.
You said there were so many countries.
Yeah,
no?
Roberto, he's raced a lot of world champs with Spain. I guess I'm the only one who's doing good results at the highest level. But there's a lot of people who get to do biathlon who wouldn't otherwise without that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's pretty exotic countries that you listed there. Yeah. But when you were still so young, you must have been in school, right?
Yeah, this is the beautiful thing about living on the other side of the world. It's our summer holidays when it's your guys' winter. So I didn't miss any school. I just flew at the start of my summer holidays to Europe. I didn't spend 4 months there when I was...
So summer holidays for you is like in December? And
it's like December 15th to February 3rd. So it's like the perfect...
Wow, that's long.
Yeah, like 2 months, 2 and a bit months. I think it's 8 or 9 weeks.
Okay, yeah.
But all the important races are happening in those 8 to 9 weeks. So it's kind of perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe a little bit time for that. But I think that's also a thing. So you came back to New Zealand after that, and then you went back to school.
Yeah, I think a few times I missed the last 2 weeks and did my exams early and came a week late or 2 weeks late. But that's a lot more manageable than missing 12 weeks. So that in that instance, being on this side of the world was actually a huge advantage because I just did normal high school through till I was 18.
And then you were done and you completely focused on cross-country skiing and biathlon.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did your parents say at the time when you said you want to go to Europe and try to be a biathlete or a cross-country skier there?
Well, they were actually my oldest brother. He's still a road cyclist, by the way, New Zealand national champ.
He's in Germany, right? He's in a German team?
He was last year, but then they kicked out all the non-Germans. So now he's on a Slovenian. He's on Factor Racing at the moment. But he tried to pull the same card, and my parents said, "No way, you need to do university." So he went and did NCAA for 1 year in America, like the collegiate racing system. And then after 1 year, he was kind of like, "This is a bit of a waste of time." Because, of course, he's the first one to tell me, if you're not racing in Europe, you're wasting your time. So he just did 1 year and then went to Europe. So then when I came along and they saw that it was possible with him, he was able to make a bit of money and do biathlon and live and have a good time and, So he kind of paved the way for me when I came along 4 or 5 years later, when I'm like, I think I want to be a biathlete. Mum and Dad were a lot more open to that. But also, I really wanted to do university as well. So it wasn't just an easy decision for me. I want to be a biathlete. I wrestled with it a wee bit as well. But
I mean, you could do university now, right?
Yeah.
next to biathlon.
Yeah, but the course I wanted to do in uni, okay, this is just how the New Zealand university system works. So I want to be a dentist. But for me to be a dentist, I either need to do, there's two ways to get into dentist. You do 1 year of health science. That's really hard and really selective. And you get in 1 year later. And this, you can't do half. You need to do this whole because this is a really hard year. And the other way to get in is you either need to do a whole degree, which takes 4 years, and then apply for secondary admission. So I was like, okay, I could do like 4 years. Maybe I do it at half load. It takes me 8 years. And then I can get into dentistry, but also dentistry, you can't do correspondence on. So then I just kind of made a deal with myself. If you retire before the age of 35, just go do this 1 hard year and then 4 years of dentist. And then it's 5 years of your life. It's nothing. I've already been out of school for 5 years. Like, goes quick, goes real quick. So,
true.
Just the way that I wanted to do it, they didn't let me do it correspondence. Or I could do it, but it would just take me way longer.
Okay. So yeah, gotcha. So let's look a little bit in your first international races in biathlon. I think that was in 2018 where you started for the first time there. And to be honest, I think it didn't work so well at the beginning. In your first year, you had everything from rank 40 to 94 in the junior races. So what were your thoughts about your first steps in biathlon there?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a huge success. That 40th, 40th, I was so happy. I was the happiest person in that whole race getting 40th that day. So it's one of those things where your goalposts move, but the feeling of a good race is still a good race. So that 40th, I remember it was in Port Luca individual, and I shot the best I've ever shot. And I remember, I don't know, I beat some of the Italian juniors. And coming from New Zealand, if I can beat someone on the Italian junior team, I'm kind of just like, holy fuck, how did I do that type thing? You know, that's a win. So, yeah, actually that junior worlds, I missed 5 in my first pro. That was quite tough. But, no, it was a success. I loved it. I would say at that age, results don't matter. It's more about just falling in love with the sport. And that's what I was doing. So I came back motivated as anything to do better, you know? And also there was the goal of the Youth Olympics the next year. So I was, it was a good goal or target or, I don't know, big event to try and target for that next year where I'd be racing people my own age. Because also racing junior cups, I would have been what, 16 at that time?
16 at your age. In 2018, I think you were, 16, maybe 15 or
so racing.
something like that, right?
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, but my point is junior cup back then there's 22-year-olds in the race, maybe 21-year-olds, but it's one of the ones where you just got to take that with a grain of salt. And of course I'm not going to win that. So I was really happy with my first year, believe it or not.
But did you always believe you would make it to the top one day?
I never wanted to do biathlon if I couldn't, you know? I've always been pretty realistic with myself, and I always figured if I don't have, like, how can I put this? If I'm not competing for a World Cup podium at some stage in my career, what am I doing? Go do something. Like, if I'm just battling for my life to get top 60s at World Cup, what am I doing? You know? And even as a young kid, I was pretty conscious of that. Like, that wasn't my goal in biathlon. I knew I wasn't I had nothing to think that because I was bad, but that's where I wanted to be, you know? So did I think I could be as good as I am now at this age? Fuck no, absolutely not. But I just wanted to be in a chance to compete at some stage in my life.
Yeah. And do you also remember what your first milestone was for you in biathlon to finally say, yeah, this is my sport. I maybe have the thing that you need to be good?
I would say third at that Alpen Cup was a nice little bonus. But the race that actually did it was 4th at Youth Olympics. And that year I also won the Italian champs in the sprint. So I won Italian champs.
Fought at the Youth Olympics in
2020.
You got 6th in the sprint. I have to correct you.
Did I? I'm pretty sure I got 4th in the sprint and 6th in the individual.
So I think you got 42nd in the individual and 6th in the sprint in 2020 in Lenzerheide, right?
Nah, you're looking at world champs, Youth Olympics.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the first time in 2020
yeah,
also?
Yeah, and that. Because I remember I hit a real hot streak there. I won the Italian champs in the sprint. And then 2 weeks later, got 4th at the Youth Olympics in the sprint, 6th in the individual, and then went to world champs and raced the older age group because I wasn't the oldest age that I could be for youth. And then got 6th in that race, or 5th. I don't know. So it was, So that hot streak there, I was like, holy shit. I don't know really how I did that, but that was good.
Yeah, that's true. And I also saw what I just mentioned, the 6th place in the Youth World Championships in 2020, which is the race that's listed here because the Youth Olympics are not always listed, right?
Yeah, you need to go to the other category.
Okay, the other category. But for you, it was like a special day that you got fought there?
Yeah. I remember it was the most heartbreaking, but also it was the most motivating, encouraging, and heartbreaking result because I got 4th for my age as a Kiwi biathlete. So that was already just like, damn, like I'm racing Norwegians, French, Germans. I'm racing like, this is it. These are the guys of my age. And I got 4th. So that was huge overperformance for what I'd done before. But also, I blew up real bad last loop and missed the podium by 3 seconds. And that sucked. But it was one of the ones where I was like, you have no right to be upset about that because you just did the best race you possibly could have done. So, I was upset, but for no reason. I knew I was upset for a stupid reason. But that really motivated me because I was real slow at shooting as well. My shooting time back then was probably close to 45 seconds, maybe 50 seconds. So I was like, I remember my coach, Emil, he just told me, if you shoot faster, you win this race. But I'm just like, fuck, he's got a good point, actually. I should probably figure out how to shoot a bit better. And then that just motivated me to try to get my shooting time down, get a bit fitter. And then, I got my shooting time down and got a bit fitter and next year had another just insane year. Yeah,
but I mean, shooting was also a struggle for you at the first years, right? If I look at your results and stuff.
Yeah, but that's the name of the game.
Yeah,
I think that's everyone's. Actually, some juniors shoot insanely good, but I think I'd rather be on that end of the stick because I'd rather be a fast skier and a bad shooter than a great shooter and not a talented skier. I think one of those is better than the other, and I'm happy. I'm still not the best shooter in the world, but shooting's a skill. Like, you can learn it. You can't make your heart and lungs bigger.
Yeah, that's true. But I also saw, Campbell, in 2021, you still started as a cross-country skier and were part of the World Champs also in that year. So when did you know that you would leave like cross-country skiing behind and just fully focus on biathlon?
I was that year, 100%. That year I was fully focused on biathlon. But it was kind of like the year before the Olympics, and the New Zealand qualification to go to the Olympics for biathlon is so insanely, ridiculously hard that I was kind of like, it's pretty easy to go for a cross-country skier. I'll try to go as a cross-country skier because, like 2 reasons. The IBU wildcard spot is a lot more competitive. In the FIS, they kind of just give them out. Like, all the countries kind of get one. In biathlon, it's not like that. There's 10 wildcard spots for all the athletes outside top 20. So I needed to get better FIS points if I wanted to have a chance. So that season, I raced just the qualification race of the World Champs, qualified for the actual World Champs, got second, and they qualified the top 6 or something. And then just drove to Obertiliac the next day to do the Junior Worlds of biathlon. Yeah. So that year I actually did 3 World Champs. I did Port Luca, real biathlon World Champs, Junior World Champs, Biathlon, and
Yeah.
Oberstdorf cross country World Champs.
And what is like the benchmark in New Zealand for being a biathlete at the Olympics?
You
there?
need 2 top 15s on World Cup.
Oh, the 2 top 15s.
Yeah.
So, but you didn't make that, and you also made it to the Olympics in 2022.
Because I did 15th in the short individual in Antholds, and
yeah,
I told them like because it's 2 top 15s because in freestyle skiing and freestyle snowboarding they take the top 16 to finals. So the criteria has just been copy and pasted. Even though biathlon there's 100 people on the start, and if I would argue a 15th at a Biathlon World Cup is a lot harder than a 15th at a freestyle skiing World Cup. I'm very biased. I know I'm very biased, but I this is what I believe. And if I didn't get that top 15, and it was like my last race to qualify, and I got top 15. And then they were like, okay, he's done it once. We'll just send him because he's young and maybe he can improve. So I got discretioned on. I didn't make it through the objective, but that one race, like, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have gone type thing.
Yeah. Okay. But you also, I think, improved pretty fast in the year 2021 or the year before, because after your success at the Youth World Championships and also the Olympics, as you said, you took a 5th place in an IBU Cup race while still being 18th. Yeah, so very, very young. Was that also like the moment where you started dreaming about what might be possible in the future for you?
Yeah, that was another hot streak. I'm real good at getting like a little hot streak going. So that race, that absolutely was that. I think when I was that age, I didn't really know what an IBU Cup was, and I don't really think I understood how good of a result that was. Because I look back at that now and I'm like, fuck, getting 5th at IBU Cup now, it's hard to do. That's a very, very, very hard thing to do. I think it's gotten more competitive, of course, but 18-year-old Campbell didn't quite understand what that result meant. Because I don't know. I didn't know what IBU Cup was. I knew what an Alpen Cup was, Italian Cup, but
but you must have seen that there are the older guys and maybe some big nations and so on in biathlon.
Yeah, I got a real kick out of beating people who had beards when I was younger because, I went there and I saw a lot of people who looked like men. And at 18 years old, I definitely did not. And that was awesome. That was super awesome. That was probably probably my second best ever week in biathlon because I did my first
ever.
Yeah, because I did my first ever clean race in the first sprint. Never cleaned a race, cleaned my first sprint. Then the second sprint, cleaned it again. And I was like, damn, just did it twice in a row. Never done that ever in my life. And then the third race was the short individual and I got 5th with 1 miss. And I was just like, oh, yeah, that's a good hot streak. Yeah, I'd say comparative to my level, that was probably, very motivating. Very, very motivating week. But
I see you still remember them all your results.
Well, you just asked me about the good ones. If you asked me what I did in some relay last year, I'd probably have no clue. But that set me up for failure though, further on down the line that year at Junior Worlds. Because all this time I'd always been underdog, like guy from New Zealand. Mm-hmm. How is he doing good type thing. And I was very comfortable with that kind of title and because you got nothing to lose, everything to gain type thing. That Junior Worlds that year in Obertiliac, I was still a youth and people had been telling me I was the favorite to win for like 3 months at this stage. Because of course, if a youth gets 5th at IBU Cup, even now you're going to say, you're going to go to Youth Worlds and just destroy everyone. And I didn't handle that pressure, man. I absolutely buckled under that pressure. That was one of the greatest learning races of my life. I think if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be as good as I am now. I was wrecked after that race. I cried for like 2 hours in the car. I was a complete mess. Complete mess. But yeah, learned how to deal with some pressure, which is good.
Yeah. But did you went into the races there like, okay, I'm the favorite here, you have to beat me? Or was it more like, oh no, they say I'm the favorite and you were a little bit scared of that? What type are you?
Definitely not the first one. I was like, it was more just like, don't fuck it up was more the mentality, you know? I was like, don't fuck this up, Campbell. Just like, because also in the individual, I had like fastest ski time by almost half a minute or something. So when the sprint came, I was like, damn, like, please just win. And just came in, missed 4 on my first prone, and that was a dark day. But I think I've learned to, I don't know, if anyone calls me a favorite now, I just tell them they're wrong.
Yeah, maybe that will change in the future. We will see. But in 2021, you also made your World Cup debut at the World Championships in Pokljuka. And the following season, Campbell, you also started regularly in the World Cup. But when looking at your results, it looks quite tough to me because you were still very young. You were still physically not there, like with the older guys at the top level. And thus the results are far away from the top. So how did you experience your first World Cup races?
Well, as I said, I'm pretty used to not being at the front of a result sheet. Like, for me, what really sucked was that season was real tough mentally, just because, not because of like the racing. I love racing. I loved every single race I did that year. I loved training. I loved that part of it. But damn, it sucks driving to Oberhof to miss like, I don't know, 6 or 7 in the sprint and then just drive home the next day. That just sucks. Absolutely sucks. And also at that age, I was, to get into the pursuit, I had to miss 0 or 1 in the sprint. That was kind of my level. And I kind of told my coach I wanted to go do a bit more junior cups and IBU cups, but I got told no. So that was, looking back, everything is always good. Everything always turns out fine. And that's some good mental toughness.
I mean, you don't know. You don't know if it would have been better if you've raced some more junior races or IBU Cup races, right?
I think I really have a strong belief that getting your head kicked in and doing horrible in a race is always good for you. I think that is the best thing you can do for your development.
Could be demotivating for some people.
Nah, because you just need glimpses. You just need I reckon you need 1 in 10 good races. Like, you can have 9 bad ones, but if you have 1 good one, it's worth it. So this is kind of my idea. And I remember getting my first World Cup point. I remember I was watching Eric Lesser shoot because I was in 40th and he was the guy who could kick me out. And if he went clean, I wouldn't have got a World Cup point. And if he missed, I got one. And he missed. And like getting 40th once again, I was stoked. I was over the moon. It was awesome, you know? I think maybe that's, Europeans don't really have the same idea because, you know, I'm sure if you send a Norwegian IBU cupper to World Cup and they get 40th, they're not going to be too happy. But I was. I was proud of what I could do. I was like, I get wrecked most days, but every now and then I can be in a pursuit, and that was enough for me.
So it didn't help you that you had some junior races at the World Championships where you got good results because you were used to the World Cup level then?
What junior worlds was that? Utah.
Soldier Hollow, right?
Yeah, Soldier Hollow. But also I went to that Soldier Hollow pretty not caring about the result at all because I was very burnt out from a World Cup season and just came off the Olympics. And was also thinking about quitting biathlon a little bit at that stage. Not because I didn't like biathlon, but just because my relationship with my old coach was going pretty bad and I was traveling with him a lot. And it was just a bit tough for young Campbell. And so I went to that race and I was like, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm 19. I'm absolutely here to have fun, relax. I'll race my hardest. I'll still train and race my hardest, always.
Yeah.
but I really just prioritized having a good time there. Also, my dad was there and my little brother was there, so that was great. But oh yeah, also managed to do a great result as well. I think I got 6th in the individual.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I remember that morning. My old coach told me to try hard, and I remember I was quite upset at him for telling me to try hard. I was like, why do you think I'm here? Like, what? I train all year and spend, I don't know, 6 months away from my family. You think I'm just going to not try? I don't know. So I'm happy I got 6 in that race because I kind of had something to prove a little bit that day. Yeah, that race, I didn't really care about the result, which is bad to say, but I really didn't.
Yeah. But you just said you thought about quitting, and what made you not quit in the end?
Big Uncle Sam, Team USA. Oh,
but wasn't that 2 years later?
Yeah, but because they wanted me to swap because, of course, if there's...
you knew it before.
Yeah, because they knew I had a US passport and I was 19 and I got 5th at a World Cup that year. So they were kind of like, yeah, we'll like you on our team, which is fair enough. And but I told them I don't want to swap straight away. Like because it's a one-way street. So I didn't want to go to a setup and then regret it a year later, you know, because it always looks good from the outside, you know. People are great at telling you how awesome something is, and then when you're actually there, it's always a little bit different. And so I told them I want to train with you guys for 1 year, like do all your training camps, get on your training plan, travel with you to the races, and then at the end of this year, I'll decide whether to stay with you guys, like to race for you guys or stay with New Zealand. And yeah, it was pretty much as great as they said. It was awesome, like having a group to train with, training camps, good waxing support, good coaches. And I also really, really, really wanted to win a medal for New Zealand. That was one of also my big reasons for staying with New Zealand that year. So yeah, then won Junior Worlds for New Zealand. Probably my most happy biathlon day of my career, if I'm being 100% honest. And that.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about that maybe towards the next season in 22-23, where I think the season was, maybe similar as the season before, still like in the midfield in the World Cup. And then you came to the Junior World Championships in Shushinsk in 2023. And in a sprint, I think you maybe did your best race ever in your career so far. You hit 10 out of 10 and had the best skiing time. So, yeah, what was like the feeling of winning gold here?
Oh, it was the perfect storm, because the first race was the individual and my legs just didn't show up. And actually that individual was the first time I ever came across Isaac Frey, because Isaac is the first person younger than me where I'm like, damn, he's really good, you know. He skied past me in the individual, like I was standing still, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, dang, this kid's like 2 years younger than me, dang. So then I knew the sprint was the last opportunity for me to do it, because I knew I was changing to US in the next year. I knew if I did a bad sprint, I couldn't win in the pursuit, because that's not the way the world works. And just perfect race. Like, legs showed up, great shooting. My teammate and one of my best mates got third, Maxime. And then that was awesome. Absolute daydream. Yeah.
What does it mean to you that you are like the first New Zealand person that won an IBU World Championship medal? Or I think you're also like the first person in the Southern Hemisphere, right?
Yeah. There's not a lot of good skiing nations in the Southern Hemisphere, though. So,
That's true.
Yeah, no, I'm hugely proud of that, to be 100% honest. So that's one that, even now, if you ask me which one felt better, like second at World Champs or winning that gold for New Zealand, I would say that Junior World Champs. Which, once again, I think I think most biathletes would disagree with me on that one, but that was awesome. Also, because I just failed so many times in the past. Like, I tried to win a medal for New Zealand so many times, and I'd been fit enough to do it so many times, and didn't do it so many times. So it was kind of like, I would say since I started biathlon when I was 15 or 16 to then, I would say that was all just for that race. And it happened,
Mhm.
So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, I guess so. So let's jump into the next season. It was 23-24. There was, I think, a tough beginning for you in December. You got ill and couldn't compete in all the World Cup races. And in January, you came back in Ruhpolding and showed a completely new Campbell, I think, being on a much higher level than before and becoming 12th in the sprint there. So what happened here, Campbell, in that season?
Just did a bit of training, and then I kind of just had a real bad string of not good training before the season. Partly my own fault, because I tried to go to Australia to do a race, and then went and did a sponsor thing with US, and then picked up a sickness because I was traveling too much, and then got a few good weeks of training, and then picked up another sickness, like tonsillitis real bad, and then antibiotic course. So I would say there's probably about 3 months of not that great training. And then the 2 weeks or 3 weeks before the first World Cup was nothing, horrible, absolutely horrible. I was in my bed, doing, I don't know, 5 hours a week of walking or something. So going into that first race, I kind of knew I was going to get pwned, but you don't tell, you tell yourself that, but you think, oh, maybe I could do good. Nah, no chance. Just got absolutely demolished. And then USA was like, yeah, we're taking you off World Cup. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. And I went and did a training camp in Livigno just by myself for, I don't know, I think over a month. And luckily got put back on World Cup in Oberhof. And if I would have got put down to IBU Cup if I didn't get a top 40, but they managed to get 38th or something in that pursuit. And then I think once I got one race week in the legs, everything kind of came together. And then the work that I'd done for the majority of the year kind of came back. But that was also mentally tough. I was very, very, very bad at biathlon at the start of that season. I don't know if you can get the ski time up, but in that 20K, dang, I was slow.
In which 20K? In
No, the first one, opener, Östersund.
Östersund, yeah, it was number 100 in the ski times.
Yeah. So, just went on a training camp, and I think that also gave me a lot of confidence that even if I get sick, it's not the end of the world. You'll be fine. Everyone misses a trimester due to something at some stage. It's totally fine to get sick and miss a trimester. Yeah,
you came back strong, and I think you came back on a little streak, I would say. At the World Championships in Novo Mesto in 2024, you finished every race inside the top 20. Back in the World Cup, you reached your first top 10 in Oslo, and if that's not enough, you got also 6th at home soil in Soldier Hollow, and being at the Flowers for your first time ever. So it all went quite fast within some weeks. How did you feel about that time there?
That was just, I don't know, man. I just get on little hot runs and I love them. And when they're happening, all I can do is just enjoy it, because I'm fit. Even if I miss a few targets, I can still do a good race. And I think that World Champs was, I always just think I overperform. Because that World Champs, I did my best ever sprint, my best pursuit, my best mass start, and my best individual.
Yeah.
That is overperforming.
But I think it also has to start somewhere, right? It's always the day has to come where you reach that goal, and you reach it at that World Championship. So it might not be over performance.
Yeah. So in my brain, in my life plan as a 18-year-old, I saw me being that good maybe when I was 25, 24 maybe is where I saw myself getting there. And I was 21 at that stage. So I was still a junior.
Yeah.
And I was kind of dang, you're actually pretty good at biathlon now. I remember my my little brother rang me after I got 12th. And he asked me, Campbell, when did you start doping? I was like, obviously I don't dope. But if your little brother says that, it's hard to get a compliment out of my brothers. So that was the best way of him telling me good job.
Yeah, I guess it's always a compliment when you hear like you're doping and you're not, because that means that you're very, very strong. And I think that was the case here. And before that season, that was the season where you switched nations, right, to the US from New Zealand. So was it only because you had the passport there, or was there also like other options for you, or maybe staying in New Zealand?
Well, staying in New Zealand was going to be hard because I was getting enough money from the IBU to finance me a trip to Europe, like staying in hostels and if I was part of a big team. But I didn't really have the finances to travel not with a big team to cover like split costs. And also I didn't have enough money to pay for like a coach. So staying with New Zealand, I didn't know how I would do that, honestly, because I'd have no coach, no wax tax, know where to stay in Europe. No, I couldn't rent a car. I couldn't buy a car. I wasn't old enough. I was really kind of thought about staying with how I could stay with New Zealand, and just doing it completely on my own wasn't an option. Traveling by myself, doing that all by myself. I'm a people person, and I couldn't handle that. So when USA gave me the call, thank you, Danica and Tim, for reaching out to me. I was like, holy shit, this is just God answering my prayers. This is exactly perfectly what I was looking for. So yeah, there was no way I wasn't training with US that year or swapping. Like, it was either do that or go to university. That's what I was looking at as my options.
And what has changed for you apart from having a trainer and stuff?
I don't know, not much. Like, there's more support and training camps and stuff, which is great, and teammates, which is also great.
But you train with them?
Yeah, on training camps. I'm actually missing one right now to be here, but yeah. But what I really appreciate about having a team, like teammates, I think in a hard workout, I can push myself just as hard by myself as I can with people around me. Because if I couldn't train hard by myself, I wouldn't be good. Full stop. Even when, so I really appreciate the eating dinner with people, or having someone to chat to, driving to training, or having people to joke with at the race, not being in a wax room by myself. Like, all the stuff around the racing and the training just became infinitely better.
Yeah. I mean, I also heard that you are like a guy that talks a lot, especially in the races and in training and everywhere on the IBU circuit. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I enjoy chatting. I think, yeah, this is where, if you have a lot of German listeners, they won't agree with me at all. But I think there's a lot of fake professionalism in sport. Like, a lot of people who think to be a professional, I need to be serious. I need to be like, not talk to anyone before the race. And like, of course, this works for a lot of people, but I think it's just a bit ridiculous that people think you can't be professional with smiling 1 second before the start and saying a joke to my coach as I ski by. If you're going to yell at the if you're going to yell at the Spanish guy, get out the way in a race. It's just as easy to say "G'day, mate" to your coach on the side of the track, you know. But one of those is seen as not professional. One of those is in Europe. So the way I like to do things is I like to just enjoy myself, be myself, and try hard. Like, it's not hard to try hard. You don't need to be serious and miserable and stressed to give 100% in a race. So you don't have like those moments where you're fully focused and don't talk too much? Like, when I'm shooting, I don't talk. I don't know. That's a solid 25 to 35 seconds.
Yeah. That's it?
Yeah, like, I don't know. Yeah. Nah. Like, no. What you're envisioning? No. I think it's a waste of time.
Yeah. Because when I look at, I don't know, like Johannes Dinges Bö is like a guy that trains, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour straight and pretty focused not talking a lot, just chatting a little bit with his coach because of his shooting. And the other time he's pretty focused on what he's doing, right?
Yeah, but I don't even know what that means. Like, you can still focus on ski technique and have a chat. You know, you can still have a joke and then go to your mat and focus on shooting. I think for me, the on-off switch is just a lot. I can do it in a second. You know, I'm chatting to you and then I'm thinking about where I'm planting my poles. It takes 1 second. I don't need to log off. But also, this doesn't discredit what everyone else does, because 90% of the Biathlon World Cup's on one side of that boat and I'm on the other. So I know I'm in the minority, but yeah.
Okay, let's go back to the 23-24 season, or after that season. I guess you must have been highly motivated for the next years, right? Because you saw your results, what you've done and what you can reach at that age. And 1 year later, you might be also a little bit better than before.
Yeah. But I also definitely knew that just because you did it last season does not mean you are going to do it again. You know, nothing's promised in sport. You're only as good as your last race. And also with the sickness and stuff that I experienced the year before, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm going to be better. You know, I was like, I'll just keep doing my work, keep doing my training, not get sucked into the 1,000 hours that all these Norwegians are doing. I'm just going to do my stuff, good intensity, sleep well, eat well, avoid traveling to Australia for a race and avoid a lot of travel, try to get a little bit less sick. I got my tonsils out because, of course, I had tonsillitis and that's why I needed antibiotics. So I got my tonsils out and just tried to set myself up for some success.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way, right? To don't get sick, don't get injured, just train good. And in the end, you just can do or show what you trained or what your body is capable of.
And it will happen eventually. We race enough times in a season that one of them's going to be good. You know what I mean?
That's not the case for everyone, but did you have any goals going into the last season?
I also think goals are a waste of time as well. I think having a goal doesn't make you any better or worse at biathlon. Like, my only goal ever is to just try to be better than I was. Like, try to be a better biathlete in a month than I am now. That's the only relevant goal. Because anything, like, if you go to a race and your hands both shoot 0, you're fucked if you try to win, you know? You could have the best race of your life, but if he shoots 0, I'm sorry, you're out of the game.
But so do you also look at your training stats and the data from the last years to compare if you get better? And that's your goal, maybe, to beat the older Campbell?
Also, no, not really. Because biathlon's hard to, there's not like splits or power, or I guess like you could try and improve your shooting percentage. But aren't we all trying to shoot better, you know? It's like, no. Also, once again, no, not really. Kind of just do my work as best as I can. And whatever result that is what that is.
So you don't have any benchmarks or anything? Because I think, or for me, it's also the case when I go into training that you always want to beat the old stuff or like reaching the next goal to be better, to have a goal that you're reaching for. And if you just go into training and just do your thing, isn't that like boring maybe one day?
In a training session, I'll be like, work on, I don't know, using my core a bit more, work on feeling my shoulders or like stuff like this. But I think doing sport, it's really easy to know if you're better or worse because there's a result sheet every weekend that says how good you are. So it's kind of like I'm going to know if I'm better because I'll have better results. And I want to be better.
But only for 3 or 4 months in a year.
Yeah, well, other than that, what can I do? The amount of times I do a test race in August and I just get absolutely destroyed by all my teammates. But I'm just like, that's okay. Trust your work. Trust what you're doing. Because I think during the year, we all get bored and we all just look into, I don't know, summer races. I'm guilty of it as well. Like, I think we're just all too bored in the summer. So we just look at, this time trial up this hill or look at this Italian champs roller ski race. But at the end of the day, we're trying to be good in winter. So I've had a lot of times where I'll do a test race at this time of year and just get wrecked. And I remember my first year on the team. I did a test race this time of the year and got last by quite a lot, like also ski time. And I remember my coaches kind of freaking out. They're like, Campbell, what's wrong? I'm like, nothing. Like, it's all good. Like, I'm doing my training. It's okay. But Emil, who's coached me a long time and is a good, an awesome coach, great role model. He's coached me since I joined this refugee team back in, I don't know, when I was 16. Also, he was just like, yeah, Campbell, you're fine. You're going to be fine. You've never done a roller ski race in your life. This is your first roller ski race. You're going to be fine. So I don't really look too much into the stats and everything.
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's a good thing, I also think, because you don't get too messed up when you see like not so good stats and so on. Okay, so let's go into the last season in Kontiolahti. It all started and you came quite close to your first podium with the 4th place in the sprint, and you were not on 100% health there with the 4th place in the sprint?
Yeah, so I did the old antibiotic course before the first race again. And that was really annoying because I did all this stuff not to get sick. Touchdown in Finland for like preseason training camp. Sick as a dog. Fever, sinus infection. I was just like, oh my goodness, not again. Like, but I was like, you've done this before. Maybe I'll need to take a trimester off, but we'll just see. Got on an antibiotic course. And I did really good training before that. That was the difference. Like that 2 months before I got sick, I was training at a real high level and did, I don't know, 8 weeks of altitude camp. And I was pretty confident. I was fit before I got sick, like really fit. And then didn't train pretty much anything for a week, maybe a walk or an easy classic or something. And after 10 days, I started doing like 30-minute ski. And going into that first race, I'd done 1 intensity in the last like 3 weeks. So I was pretty undercooked. And in the individual, I didn't have the best legs, but I did a really good race for the tools I had that day. Like I shot really well and paced it really well and didn't blow up and didn't cramp. And so I was really happy with that 20th. I knew, okay, yeah, I've done better races. Yeah. But for where I was super stoked with that race. And then that next race, I think, was the most perfect biathlon race I've ever done in my life, execution-wise. Because I left, shot better than Sterler in the prone, closed the gap to him and just said, just hang on. And he skis like a truck on the uphills. He's way better than me on the uphills, but had really good pair of skis on my feet. So I was able to close them in the flats and the downhills. And then came in for standing and was like, okay, shot 0. And then I saw Sterler in front of me again. I was like, Campbell, you hold on to that little big Norwegian man and you don't let him ski away from you. So then just got the perfect ride to the finish. So, yeah, thanks Sterler for that. That was a big help. But, yeah, then got 4th and was also just like, how the shit did I just do that? You know, like it was another one of those moments where I was just like, don't really know how I did that, but I'm just going to be happy with it and move on.
Yeah, you just said your legs weren't so good, but I think when you also look in your skiing times in like December, early on, you saw that you made a lot of improvement there. So was it just like doing your training and getting a little more older that you were able to pull off those skiing times there? Yeah.
Well, testosterone's a beautiful thing. And I went from 21 to 22 and yeah, just...
that was a weird phrase.
Yeah. But yeah, I think just getting older and having 1 more year of training under my legs, you know. I think this year was my first year, not junior. So it was, I guess just with getting older, you get better at endurance sport. Because I didn't really change anything in my training plan.
And I'd also say your December was quite solid, but January was pretty, mixed up, I would say. You had a 9th place, but also a 55th place and a 40th place in Antolz right before the World Championships.
Oh, yeah, but I got a real bad stomach bug and was vomiting for like a few days before that. So I was going into that race. Well, if you want to see another good ski time, look at leg 3 at the Ruhpolding relay this year. That was real tough.
Yeah.
So I did that relay like spewing in the morning, just because for US we need Nation Cup points to try and get into the top 10. And if we miss a relay, we have no chance. Like no chance at all, because we're right on the edge. So I woke up, spewed, and I was kind of like, I'm not going to tell anyone because I know I need a race. Like I know that's what I need to do. My coaches are never going to tell me to race if I'm sick, but they will want me to race, because even if we get lapped, we still get points. And yeah, that really took it out of me big time. And then, yeah, Antholz was kind of the comeback after that, like my first few intensities. So yeah, that didn't stress me out either.
Okay, it didn't stress you out. So what were your thoughts like going into the World Championships with those results, those January results, and also maybe the bad stomach?
The same as any other race. Go out there, try my hardest, see where I end up.
So you don't matter at all what race it is for you? You just go in and see what comes up?
Yeah, I like racing. It's fun. I enjoy it. So I was just like, also I showed up there and I was like healthy. I wasn't spewing. I didn't have a sinus infection. I wasn't on antibiotics. And any race I get to do where I'm not sick or injured is going to be a great day.
But did you never think about winning a medal?
No.
In the World Championships?
Like,
never.
Yeah, I guess you think, yeah, it would be great to win a medal. But realistically, before that championship, like thinking I want to win a medal here is like a serious thought, not just a fantasy. Absolutely not.
But I mean, you did it in the end with a perfect race. You ranked second behind Johannes Tingesbø in the sprint. And what does the silver medal mean to you, Campbell?
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I think everyone at US Biathlon was also pretty happy, and it was nice to see. I think I got a lot of support from that race because I'm not from Europe, so I think a lot of people can be happy for me even if I'm not from their country, just because, you know, it's back to the underdog title. Like a US biathlete is an underdog. You know, Germany's going there expecting to win medals. USA is over the moon with one. You know, so it's just. Yeah, I think that was really good just to see like the biathlon community and fans and the athletes and everyone around just being happy for someone who wasn't in their team was just really cool to see on like a humanitarian point of view. It was, it was pretty sweet.
So are you also so chilled when you're like winning a medal compared to, the type you are when you're going into a race? Like you said you're pretty chilled. You just go into a race and see what's coming at you, and now you're winning a medal here. Is it also like, okay, I just won a medal and that's it? Or is it also more emotionally for you?
Nah, you're only as good as your last race. You win a medal and you're like, holy shit, that was awesome. Enjoy that, 100%. Don't go out drinking or anything crazy, like. But
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm the same biathlete I was before the World Champs as I am after, you know. Mm-hmm. Didn't even get any new sponsors from that. That's the thing I'm actually most upset about. That's a real dagger. But
really?
I know. I'm not good at marketing myself. I need to maybe become more.
Have to reach out.
Maybe I need to be more serious. I don't know. No, I'm the exact same biathlete after as I am before. Doesn't change anything with who I am or what I've done. You know? Yeah,
but I think it's also special that you proved it wasn't like a one-hit wonder, because you came also in second in the pursuit, taking your second silver medal. And to be honest, if I think of that race, I directly have your face in my mind where I see you running away from the final shooting, your mouth wide open, smiling, big eyes. So Campbell, what was going through your mind at that point there?
Probably just like, holy shit, I'm going to get another silver medal. Like, because I knew I wasn't going to blow up. Like, my legs felt good. Generally, when I'm going to blow up, I have a pretty good feeling it's coming, and that's not great. But it was like Sturla and Eric are behind me, two best standing shooters in the world, and I come in, and I have a standing shooting I need to do, and I'm kind of like, if there's ever a time for you to hit 5 targets, Campbell, right now is probably it. Let's just try to get these down. And then they go down and it's just like that wave of like, I don't know, just pure joy, just pure emotion comes out. And I don't know how these guys do that and then just look serious, put their rifle on the back and ski to the finish. I'm like, I think that's more impressive than me being happy, You see your hands both shoot, just right on the back, go win. And it's like, damn. I hope I never get good enough that I don't appreciate winning.
Yeah, okay. But you also came close to the gold, right? You said it in the interview that you saw Johannes was a little bit struggling and maybe you could have catched him.
Oh, yeah, that was insane, actually. That was, yeah. I don't know. He's the greatest of all time. And he also skied that race out front by himself the whole way. I got a pretty nice ride from Tommy G, the big Italian. So, yeah, a glimpse of humanity from him. I never thought I'd be the one to see it, but I managed to see it one time before he retired, which is nice.
Yeah. And you also had a 4th place in the mustard here at the World Championships, so it was a big success, I guess, for you, even though you don't appreciate it, maybe.
Oh, no. That 4th I was hugely proud of, because also I skied a smart race there as well. Like, that 4th, I was also over the moon stoked. Like, I will refuse, just because I got 2 medals, doesn't make 4th place bad. 4th place would have been my best ever biathlon race of my life 1 week before. And just because I got 2 medals doesn't mean 4th is bad.
Yeah.
So,
okay, gotcha.
No, I was also stoked there as well. A bunch of my mates from Livigno came and watched that race as well, so that was cool.
And I also saw in the last trimester you had also a strong run again. No podiums anymore, but some good results. And I was wondering, now after we've talked, I'm not so sure about it, but how does your approach to a race change when you are winning like 2 silver medals or having such good results? Do you have like higher expectations now from yourself?
I think you know the answer to that one. No, not at all. But
yeah.
I would say the one thing I've noticed is everyone else expects a lot more. And I'm the guy pumping the brakes like, whoa. Top 10 at a World Cup is amazingly good. Like, there's 100 guys all training as hard as they can. And if you're in the top 10%, that's a good race. Like, I think a lot of people and teams and nations really lose sight of that. Like, the whole German team is training incredibly hard. I don't know how many biathletes in Germany are training hard, but a lot. And at World Champs, like when I got 4th, I beat them all, So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's not like a I don't deserve it, but it's one of those things where everyone works hard type thing. Like, I'm not, I don't do anything special. I don't have any secret or anything to doing well. I'm just the lucky guy who did well on that day.
So are you still, in your mind, the guy from the Alpen Cup back then?
Yeah, I like to think so. I'd say I have a bit more confidence that I could be a good biathlete now, but other than that, I have a pretty similar approach.
Yeah, okay. So in the end, you took 2 silver medals. You got 17th in the World Cup and you won the U23 score for the first time ever in biathlon. So how would you sum up your last season?
An absolute dream. Better than I ever could have imagined, ever.
And what's like the biggest achievement for you last season?
I can say something real cheesy right now, but I would say the silver in the pursuit was huge. That was really nice. Like a good pat on the back, you can do it type thing. So yeah.
Okay. And that was the cheesy answer?
Nah, cheesy answer was going to be meeting my girlfriend, but
okay. Yeah, maybe she listens to that and hears that and will be happy. So do you still have some time?
Yeah. My mum invited some people over for dinner who I don't know, so I'm kind of happy to stay in this room.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your current preparations for the upcoming season. So how it's going so far for you?
Not sick, not injured. Loving my life in New Zealand, training on beautiful snow And I'd say my preparations have been pretty close to perfect.
That's good. Good to hear. So are there any changes for you this off-season in order to improve?
I'm not going to Finland before the first World Cup because I've got sick the last 3 years there. So I kind of told my coaches I'd really love to not go to Finland because I have a bad track record there. 3 of 3 getting sick. So, yeah, that's probably the biggest thing.
So nothing else, no new rifle or something like that?
Why reinvent the wheel? You know, it's working good. So,
yeah, I imagine that you said you maybe used the same rifle you used like for 5 years or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It shoots straight. It's shooting straighter every day as well. I'm practicing. Don't worry, I'm practicing the way I shoot my shooter.
But I mean, on the other end, you could like tinker to be a little bit faster, like having the magazines somewhere else, or I don't know, having a new technique there to just take off some seconds and be a little bit faster at the shooting range.
Yeah, but I think that will be a constant development throughout my whole life. You know, I'm sure there's going to be another Martin Oldal in 10 years who manages to shoot in like 10 seconds or something just ridiculous. So, yeah, but that's constant. I was doing that last year as well.
Yeah. And I think I'm not right if I'm remembering it correctly. You once said you trained without any real program and just going into the training hard. And is it also the case today, or did you like change that?
I think I would have said my old program before I was with US was I don't think it was the best training philosophy, because the philosophy was just train as hard as you can. There was a program, but the program was train as hard as you can. So now it's a bit more controlled. I'm training a whole lot more easy now than I was when I was 19. Makes me feel a bit bad, honestly, because I'm working less hard and going quicker.
Gotcha. Yeah. So you just said you started your off season in Europe and now went to New Zealand. So how often are you still flying to New Zealand? Is it only once a year that you see your family and then back to Europe and going into the World Cup and then maybe a year later back to New Zealand and so
Last year I was in New Zealand 1 month, and that's 11 months is a long time away from home. You know, so like not seeing your mum, your dad, your dog, your brothers, your friends for
your dog.
For 11 months is just, that's tough. And
but you knew that you just said dog before your brothers, right?
Yeah, my brothers don't listen to Biathlon podcasts. I think I'm safe. Yeah, so this year I came back in April in the off season, and also now. So that was also a change. I wanted to spend a bit more time in New Zealand because Olympic year, everyone's kind of going crazy and losing their head, and New Zealand's a very nice place for me to come to, where people know me as Campbell, not a biathlete. Nobody here knows what biathlon is, and it's just amazingly refreshing. Just being a lot more normal and doing my training in the morning and going fishing with my mates in the afternoon. So it's a good mental reset coming here, but still only 2 months a year here out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, I read a little bit about the snow farm there. That's what it's called in New Zealand, the only like cross-country skiing region there with also a shooting range. And it sounds quite interesting because I think it's at an altitude of nearly 2,000 meters, so quite high,
Yeah,
right?
it's like 1,650, but it's the top of the mountain is 2,000. But it's an amazing training facility, like completely amazing.
Yeah.
And Lou Jomino came here last year. We have Jesse Diggins here at the moment. I'm not going to put my name next to theirs because they are very good at what they do. But
not yet, yeah?
Yeah, give me a few more years. No, they do a really good job with the grooming as well. And there's a biathlon range. Like, I don't know. It's awesome. I don't know why there's not more people coming here, if I'm being 100% honest. So if you would like to come, send me an Instagram DM. I can help you with accommodation and rifle papers and all the rest of it. But yeah, Snow Farm's amazing. There's a reason I started cross-country skiing in the first place, and it's Snow Farm. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, it's a long way to New Zealand, right? You fly like, I don't know, maybe a whole day?
I'm not going to tell you how long I fly because people will be less likely to come. But it's a long way. It's a long way.
But isn't it also very tough to always fly around the world and also for so long, especially for a sportsman like you, to don't stand up or run for like a day or maybe 1.5 days?
I believe that we are trying to make resilient bodies. The more resilient my body is, the better I'm going to be at biathlon. Whether that means getting sick and having fever for a month so my immune system's stronger, or doing just a ridiculous travel day where I sleep, 3 hours. Because eventually in the season, there's going to be one of these disgusting travel days. This year I had it in Le Grand Bonnard. We left Le Grand Bonnard to drive back to Ridnown at 9 o'clock at night, got there at 4 a.m, slept 1 hour. I think it's good for my body to do hard things and not just train, eat, sleep, but actually deal with some jet lag or deal with not a perfect sleep so that when it happens, inevitably in the winter, I can manage, This is why I don't wear a mask in the summer, because I'm like, yeah, get me sick. I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine if I get sick.
Yeah. Got that. But don't you, when you're in New Zealand, like missing your training partners or good partners to beat up with?
So my big thing about training partners is it makes my life outside of biathlon better. Like the training side of it, I'm totally fine doing that by myself because I've done it by myself since I was young. And in New Zealand, outside of biathlon, my life's great. I see my mates, I see my parents, I see, it's not a problem that I really have when I'm down here. So no is the answer to that question. Sorry, teammates, I don't. But also I can give him a ring. I gave him a ring this afternoon, said hello to everyone.
And apart from your teammates, you just said, when looking at the US team, do you have any obligations to that team or for the US that you have to travel to them and do something for them or something like that to be part of the team?
Yeah. So there's training camps. You need to go to the training camps. And
they are in the US or are they in the Europe?
Both. So we have 2 in Europe and 4 in the US. And since I've joined the team, I've never missed a training camp. This is actually the first time I'm missing one. But after this, I'll go to Utah for a month and train with the team. So 3 training camps in America isn't like a crazy amount of travel. It's manageable. And long travel is just part of the game when you live in New Zealand. Like it's inevitable, unless I just want to move to Europe and never leave. But I quite like New Zealand. I quite like my home. So yeah, you need to do the training plans, the training camps, and yeah, that's about it. Race good, Nobody wants you in their team if you don't race good. That's the most important thing. So
okay. Yeah, you just said that you won't go to Finland again for the preparation, but how does the rest of your off-season look like? Will you go anywhere else?
Yeah, so I have 2 more weeks in New Zealand, and then I'll do 4 weeks in Utah, and then Loop 1, roller ski race in Munich.
Yeah, I know that. Heard of that.
And then I'll do another 3 or 4 weeks in Livigno to continue the altitude, and then 2 weeks in Obertiliac, and then fly up to Scandinavia, and then try my hardest to be good at biathlon.
You will not be part of Idre or Geilo to join the races that are season openings in Norway or Sweden?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked at the plan that close. I don't think so. I think I would have heard about that. But yeah, no, don't think so.
Yeah, I think the Italians will be there. So
yeah, I'm not quite.
Might be a way for you to join them.
Yeah. No, I think I'm happy training. I've never really felt like I need to do more racing. We do a lot of that in the winter. I'm happy just doing a training camp. And I think I can get fit enough in a training camp as well.
Okay, so yeah, you also said you don't have any goals or not a fan of goals. So you don't have any for the next season?
Yeah, try to be better. Try to be a better version of myself. Yeah.
So that means try to be better. Johannes Tingsboer is also not there anymore. So sprint and pursuit gold at the Olympics, or What is
Mate,
better?
You're not clickbaiting me into saying that. I'm going to go to the Olympics. I'm going to try my best and see how it goes. But yeah, I think every single biathlete is going to get paid a lot more prize money now that he's not there. I think when he said he's retiring, everyone was kind of like, oh, yeah, that's quite good, actually, for everyone else. Bad for biathlon.
And you heard that you will get more prize money this year because the money you don't get at the Olympics will be given to you at the World Cup.
Yeah, I guess I'm just going to have infinite money at the end of the season. I think I won enough money this year, if I'm being 100% honest. If I can even come close to what I made this year, I'll be a very, very happy boy.
You think so?
Yeah. Okay, coming from New Zealand, you need to understand I made no money ever. And then this year, I've made more money than I've ever made in my whole biathlon career combined in like 4 months.
What's like the median income in or salary in New Zealand? You know that?
Oh, I have no clue. Absolutely no idea. But for me, I'm happy doing biathlon for free. I'll do this for free. And then they pay me and I'm like, dang, that's a really big bonus. I'm really happy with that. Maybe this is why I don't have so many sponsors. Yeah. I'm too complacent.
I just wanted to look up your prize money, but I'm not finding the chart right now. But yeah, I think it must be like 100K or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Something around there. Probably with the bluebird and everything in there. Yeah, probably. A shit ton. An absolute shit ton.
And you have to pay taxes?
Yeah, but that all gets paid in the country you win it. So that all gets done for me. I get tax-free.
Okay, so that's good. So yeah, how important are the Olympics for you next year? Is it like, even though you have no goals, just special for you to be there, or is it just like any other World Cup race and also the Alpen Cup maybe?
Yeah, like of course it's the biggest race in the sport, so being there is everyone's dream. Like racing in the Olympics is awesome. If I didn't qualify for the team, I'd be like, damn, I'd love to race there. But I think a lot of people fall into the trap that they just build it up to some big thing and think they need to overperform. But other than try my hardest, what can I do? You know, nothing. So yeah, of course, it's everyone's dream to win a medal, but that doesn't make me special. I think there's 100 people on the start line who would like to win a medal. Yeah, just keep doing my stuff. Hopefully, we get to see one of those lovely faces after a standing shooting again.
But I mean, to be serious now, you're pretty young, you have pretty good results. So yeah, I mean, it would be quite obvious that you might be a guy for the future and for the future successes in biathlon. So don't you think about medals or maybe also winning like the overall World Cup one day?
I don't know, man. Overall World Cup, that's for Eric to win. Like that, he's the French wonder kid. Like, I think that's his job. I think my job in biathlon is pop up every now and then with a great race and try to compete. But I don't know. I don't see myself being the face of biathlon anytime soon. I'm happy just doing what I can, and being the underdog is the best place to be. You can only go up. So yeah.
Yeah. And I also asked your colleagues like Isaac Frey, Niklas Hartwig, Tommaso Giacomelli, if they think that their time is coming now, that the next generation is taking over, like something we haven't been seeing in a long time, I think. What's your take on that? Do you think like the younger generation is now coming up and overtaking in biathlon?
Yeah, like 100%, absolutely. Like all the names you just named, they're all phenomenal biathletes, and I think they've all. Okay, Isaac hasn't got a World Cup podium, but I think we all know if he raced a full season on World Cup, he probably would have got one. You know, so
yeah,
yeah, it's good to see. But I like racing those guys. I can yeah, I love racing those guys. Actually, I really enjoy it because you know when there's Phil on my A and you're skiing with him, you're like, yeah, this guy's, I don't know how many Olympic medals he's won, but it just seems a bit less relatable. He seems like a kind of different category of person to me. But if I'm skiing and I see Eric, like Eric is phenomenal. He's world class, but I see him a lot more human, you know? If Eric skis past me, I'm like, fuck, like, damn it, Eric skis past me. But if Quinton skis past me, I'm like, Yeah, he's Olympic champ. Makes sense, you know? So,
Yeah.
no, I really like racing the young guys. And I think there's a lot of good personalities in there as well. Like there's a lot of guys I get along really well with. So that just makes it all the better, you know? Racing against someone you know is one of the best. I don't know, it's one of the best feelings ever, you know? So love it.
Okay, but being a bit nasty now, I also looked up your results in Antals and also your skiing times there. And it seems to me that it doesn't be your favorite place until now.
I don't know. I got my 15th in short individual there. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, your first time, your breakthrough, yeah.
And this year I did the second best relay leg in the men's relay once I got over my vomiting. It was Quinton and then me. So
yeah,
I would respectfully disagree with you. I think I could ski just fine now.
Okay. So you're confident about the place and or maybe it's just like...
I actually...
Yeah. It hadn't worked out so far, like in the last years?
I actually just completely...
individual races?
I like Anthos. I think Anthos is my best course, if I'm being 100% honest. I also did a great ski time there.
Really?
In the sprint. I missed a lot, but my last season for New Zealand, I did my best ski. I think I had a 12th ski time there when I was 20.
When you were 20 in Antholz?
In the sprint in Antholz. Because I've had that short individual, which was my best race ever by a country mile. And then I did my best ever ski time there in the sprint.
You had 2 sprints there, right?
I don't know. I know I shot 3 misses and was like 20, maybe 40. I don't know. I think.
Yeah, you were 24th in the ski ranking.
What year was that? Was I still racing for New Zealand?
Yeah, 2023.
Damn, I thought I did better than that. But I'm pretty sure that's my best ski time up until that point. I'm pretty sure.
In Antholz?
Oh, let me get these results.
In the pursuit, you were a little bit faster, but yeah, there are not so many guys at the starting list, right?
Oh, that's a tough way to say that. Antholz.
No, I mean, in the end, you think it's your best place.
You did
kindly
yeah,
disagree.
You're a bit more of a stats man than me, though. I go feeling.
Yeah.
When I go there, I feel fast. So, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, for sure. I can't feel inside of you.
You can, but I won't let you.
Okay. Yeah, but Campbell, let's step away from biathlon for a second and tell me what are you doing when you're not like doing biathlon or flying to New Zealand or around the world in your free time?
Today I spent a lot of time on Instagram Reels. Played a bit of pool with my little brother. Went surfing at the river. I don't know, just general things, you know. Bit of surfing, bit of Instagram, bit of hanging out with friends, bit of going for a coffee, I'm a big fan of calling people. I love calling people on the phone, just chatting for a wee bit.
Old school, yeah.
Yeah, old school, not a texter. But yeah, I think a lot of athletes' lives are quite boring, to be 100% honest with you. I think there's a lot of room for improvement there for a lot of us.
Yeah, so you had time to study.
Oh yeah, I definitely do have time to study, but whether I want to or not, I think, yeah, I keep myself busy. I don't know doing what, but my days are full enough.
Okay. So yeah, in the end, I got a little section for you here.
Rapid fire.
Yeah, that's the name. And that are questions I always ask my guests, so you can answer in just one word or one sentence, however you like. So let's start with the first question. Do you have any rituals before the start of a race?
Put my skis and my poles on, probably.
Yeah, I thought that there's not very much with you. So what's your favorite World Cup when you have visited so far?
Le Grand Bonnard.
Okay, and your favorite racing format in biathlon?
Mass start.
Prone or standing shooting?
Standing.
And what's the coolest thing about biathlon for you or on your job as being a biathlete?
Seeing that people are interested. Seeing that there's fans and spectators and stuff. It's awesome.
Okay, yeah, it's true. It's not the case for every sport. So what annoys you the most about your job?
I don't think about that very often. What annoys me the most? I would say getting...
Good sign for a long career.
I would say getting injured really sucks.
Yeah. Did you ever get injured really hard?
Never never like an Otto Invenius crash or anything like that. But strained my calf a few times and had a few back problems. But just usual
decent
stuff. Yeah.
Okay, and until this point in time, what was your favorite moment in biathlon?
Junior World Champs gold medal for New Zealand.
Okay. And did you have any role models in biathlon or maybe in other sports?
I would say my oldest brother is my biggest sporting role model because, of course, I'm not going to have a biathlete role model when they're all just European, and I didn't watch biathlon until I was like 17. So,
okay.
yeah, I'd say my oldest brother is probably my biggest sporting role model.
So you never saw like the great athletes in biathlon, like Foucault maybe some years, I don't know, Magdalena Neuner and so on.
I saw Foucault was right when I started watching. He was doing good when I started watching.
Yeah.
But I didn't even know I could watch it for free on the internet. I just figured if it wasn't on the TV, I couldn't see it. Like, I don't know, I'd watch an IBU YouTube video every now and then.
Yeah.
But yeah, didn't really watch it so much. I remember one of my brothers told me, "How can you be a biathlete if you don't even watch it?" And I was like, "I don't know, I just like it." But
yeah. So you missed the good old German times in biathlon, but okay. So now you can put together your best biathlete in the world, and it doesn't matter if she or he is active, inactive, a man or a woman. Which attributes would you take and from whom?
I would take Martin Foucault's V2, Lucas Hoffer's V2 alternate.
Yeah.
Eric's offset. Yeah.
Pro? Yeah.
I don't know if he goes up a hill because he's lighter than me or has better technique, but he definitely goes up a hill bloody fast. Shooting time, Aldal. I hate to say that. I hate to give that to him, but yeah, he shoots quick. And then I would say shooting Johannes Bow shooting, prone and standing, and percentage.
Prone, also prone, yeah.
Yeah, well, you can't hit too much, or else it just becomes boring. You know, you got to have a nice balance there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, sounds like a good mix.
Philip Horn's good looks as well. There we go.
Good looks. Okay. Yeah, I have to tell him that.
Yeah.
So now for the end, imagine you had a big billboard in a big city and everyone can read it. Which message would you write on that billboard? And it shouldn't be a commercial.
I'd probably put a funny knock joke on there.
Yeah, do you have one?
I don't actually. No, I don't. I'd Google a funny joke and put it up there. I think most people don't care about biathlon, so I wouldn't bore them with any. Or maybe an anti-war message. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's a better.
Or maybe do you have any motto in your biathlon life or in your life in general?
I'll just say you'll be fine. Bad things happen. Okay. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you'll be totally fine.
Okay, Campbell. So yeah, I hope you will be fine too in the future. And before you leave, tell my audience where they can find you if they want to know or see more about you.
You can come find me in real life. I think it would be weird, but you could. But probably my Instagram is the go-to, Wright_Campbell. And my first name is Campbell and my last name is Wright. Because Europeans really struggle with that. But
yeah, that's like an Austrian thing or Bavarian thing, you know. They always say like Wright Campbell.
But even
they turn the names around.
Even people who I've known for years. Like one of the Italian biathletes, Niccolo Batamps. I've known him like 4 years, and he's like, "But what's your name?" I'm like, dude, how can you ask me what my name is? Like, but yeah, Instagram. Send me a message. I might respond.
Okay, and that's it. No TikTok or anything else.
Nah, no TikTok or anything else. The dream's to start a YouTube channel, but I'm too lazy.
Yeah, do it. Do it, man. So yeah, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. And I think it is maybe the longest interview I've ever had here. But yeah, you had to tell me a lot and it was quite interesting for me to hear about your approach. And thank you very much.
You can cut that, by the way. You don't need to put it all in. But
no, I will put it all on.
But nah, good to chat to you. It's I follow you. You do great graphics on Instagram, by the way. Just phenomenal. So keep up the good work.
Thank you very much and see you next time.
Ciao.